Fendi, like the bag. This is the I Refuse podcast. Hey y'all, it's Mr. Fox of the I Refuse podcast. Coming back with a fresh episode this week. I wanted to get on here to talk about gratitude and family and just how lucky a person like me is. Yesterday, I went to my mom's to celebrate her birthday. She turned 68 yesterday. Our birthdays are exactly a week apart. We are 29 years apart. She actually had me a week after she turned 29. You do the math. But as I get older, I realize, especially the last 6 years, when in the time that my husband passed away, that how fast time has gone by, and with that, how much more I value life and the moments as they come. Yesterday, I was sitting with my mom, and as we were celebrating her birthday, having a meal, got her a nice little cake, sung happy birthday to her, and I realized that she's come a mighty long way, and that she probably will have not that much time left. Not to turn this into a dark channel, but I'm saying that to say, I have been like nonstop in life. And, I'm sure a lot of you out there can relate to this because, especially people that look like me, where it's like we have been conditioned and taught without even knowing, just to survive. Not to thrive, but just to survive. My personal story is that I didn't really have a really solid home foundation, and I started working at like 15, 16 years old, and it's been nonstop since. And when you think about it, I was like every other teenager. I was like, oh, I can't wait until I turn 18, and I can leave home and get out of here and stuff. And fast forward, like 20 years has gone by. And that's not to say that like I've sat back and done nothing with my life. And I completed a lifelong goal a couple of years ago, to not only start college again, but also graduate undergrad. And I loved it so much that I went back for my master's degree. That makes me the first man in my family to have a college degree. And not only that, like I went to the military. And although they take a lot of people, no tea, no shade, it's not for everybody. But at that time, I was like 17 years old. I knew I had to just get out of where I was going to end up in my mind at the time, like my other siblings. But, in my 30s now, creeping up on 40s, and, I'm sitting at my mom's yesterday, and I'm like, this woman has been through a lot. She may irk the ever-living crap out of me sometimes, but I got her. And beyond her and I come from a family that is very close, very affectionate, and very supportive. I could literally leave the apartment right now, go to anybody's house in the family, and it'd be okay. I can go to aunts or uncles that were married to the family that are no longer, go to their house and it'd be fine. It could be 5, 10, 15 years since I've last seen them, but this moment right here, it's like we pick up where we left off. And I take a lot of pride in that. I know there are a lot of people out there that can say the same, but I say that to say they make me who I am today. Whether other people can't get into it or not, and I kind of, in a way, feel sorry for those that just can't comprehend or feel some kind of way about affection from another man, even though you're part of a community that's based on attraction from other men or attraction to other men. I don't understand how, as someone that comes from a big family, that believes in family and knows the importance of family, how there is a culture out here or a community out here that's not inclusive and is not as dynamic and believes in division and drama and moments and opportunities to capitalize on selfishness and being self-righteous and being self-interested. And people pacify and enable that. I will forever be the weird duck or the odd duck to a lot of people who don't get that and who suffer from a lack of that, of affection and support and unrequited, unexpected, unreciprocated support. Like, I know it's strange to a lot of people to experience a person that does and shows and shows the the pure definition of being a friend, without any expectation of wanting anything back in return. I know that's probably weird for a lot of people, even those in the community that use people of color. I think about it. You have people out here that want to make it an issue where there wasn't one. And instead of thinking, oh, well, this drama is just not for me, they instead add to it. I was talking to my cousin earlier and about how I went to my mom's yesterday, and we were talking about how great my uncle is, who's our father, who came over yesterday to hang out with my mother for a little bit for her birthday. How they're close. They are give and take less than 2 years apart. My mom's the oldest of 8. My cousin's father, who is my uncle that came to see my mom yesterday, is the next one in line of the 8 kids. Real close in age, really close. They look out for each other, and I know that I get a lot of my personality and a lot of my characteristics from them. And I sent her a picture of the two of them together, and she was just, her heart was full in the moment. And one thing, there are a lot of things I love about my uncle. He still is jovial and still pleasant and still sweet and still giving, even after all the stuff he's been through health-wise. And my mom is the same way. Here we are, her most recent procedure she was put under for, I think her thyroids, which I believe are right here. They were drained or removed or something, and they kept her overnight. And she is close to 70, still having procedures. There are other things that she's been through that I won't go into full detail about, but a lot. And the bulk of that stuff was part of my childhood. And one thing about adversity, an average person would crack. There are other people out here that accept it for what it is. There are other people out here that use it as a crutch. And then those of us that have the fortitude and the spiritual strength to dust ourselves off after each moment and keep going. I thank my mom and I thank my family for showing me what the real world is like without even knowing it. I understand now that I was just a kid like a bunch of us are, where we just tend to judge our parents at first and then we come to realize they're just going through life the way we do, the way we are right now. I will never take anything away from my mother. I have actually realized that we function and our dynamic in our relationship functions at a distance from time to time. She has long ago cut the umbilical cord, and I've grown exponentially. Like, to go to work full time and go to college full time. Kids are like, did you enjoy spring break? And I'm like, what's spring break? And there are times where we will not agree. There have been times where I've had to cut off financial support. And that has not, thankfully, deteriorated our relationship at all. We're still very much close. And a lot of my mental health has revolved around the notion of caring and nurturing others and constantly being there for others and not realizing well after that time is coming on that I forgot to take care of myself. And that's on top of internalizing a lot of trauma. And I gotta say that, even after all that, I turned out pretty good. And there's a lot of hope out there for you guys who are struggling and who are not sure. And you're you're curious as to what the next step is. And one piece of advice I can offer you guys is that no matter what you do, always put one foot in front of the other, and hope for the best. When you get to a point in life where you know and accept who you are and what you have to offer, there's nothing on the outside going towards you that can tell you about who you are. Nobody knows you better than you. So yeah, there will probably be another video the week of my birthday as a follow-up to this video. I'll even share some stuff from my phone and from my servers and everything to kind of give context to how far I've come. It's not where you start, it's where you end up. This is the I Refuse podcast, and this is Mr. Fox.